You ready, man? Let's do it.
Over 40 million people suffer from anxiety in the United States alone. And that's only the recorded statistics. There are so many people like myself who have dealt with anxieties throughout their lives, but have never seen a doctor about it and never talked to anyone about it. Is this how things have to be? Is anxiety a normal thing we all have to go through? A pre-programmed part of our human experience? Wim Hof, famed Iceman and teacher on meditation, breathwork, and cold exposure, will defiantly tell you that anxiety is not normal. He says that this is not something we have to, nor ever should have to, experience in our lives. For Wim, this and many other mental and physical diseases are what keep us from our personal powers, the innate human capabilities that we all possess.
Hey everyone, good morning. I just watched Wim Hof's breathwork tutorial and I decided to try it out for myself, so I wanted to share some of my thoughts about how it went. I noticed initially that it's pretty weird waking up right away and then trying to shock your system by, it seems like I'm hyperventilating when doing the breathwork, and I was getting pretty lightheaded, but Wim says to push through that, so I did. And then on the breath holds, I noticed a bit of mental clarity, a bit of peace. It was nice. And in the last couple weeks or so, I've been waking up from my days, and the first thoughts that I have are pretty negative, and they've been cycling through my head, and it really leaks into the rest of my day. But right now I was able to slightly overcome that, I think. And so I'm hoping that that translates to the rest of my day, but we'll see.
Before going any further, I wanted to let you know that no matter what you're going through, you are loved and you are accepted in this safe space where we can all try to heal ourselves together and grow mutually. Looking back on my life up to the point where I started learning about Wim Hof, I always struggled with anxiety, even though oftentimes I didn't really realize it. Throughout middle school and high school and parts of college, I didn't have a ton of friends that I would see very often, and most of my social interactions seemed pretty forced, at least from my perspective, and I never could feel really comfortable and vulnerable around many people. As a result of all of this, I labeled myself as an introvert and decided it would be easier and better for me to just spend more time with myself, because then there was no risk of conflict or that social anxiety that kept weighing down on me. Looking back on those times, I now realize that all those things that would give me strife and stress and those anxious feelings, they were all externally caused. I was always a victim to my external environment, so I started to mold my life around things that felt safe and comfortable and didn't challenge me quite as much. Okay, so I'm just over a week in and I decided to try my first cold exposure. Wasn't anything crazy this time. I decided to go outside with just some winter gear on, gloves, no hat, ski pants, and a jacket. So I went out and decided to go in the woods for some reason, which was really scary because it's nighttime right now. And I actually decided to just sit under a tree and just breathe a bit. Not Wim Hof breathing, just regular breathing. But I stayed out there for 2.5 hours and I loved it. I loved every second of it. I didn't really have any plans of what would happen or how this would go. This was one of the coolest meditative experiences of my life. I couldn't believe how long I was out there when I came back and saw the time. And I feel so much mental clarity right now. It feels so good to have just been out, just taking deep breaths in the cold. And I am really excited to see where this takes me in the future. More recently, in 2020, when the pandemic hit, I found my anxiety peaking again, just like so many other people were experiencing. I found myself constantly weighed down by my perceived judgments of others or my judgments of myself and my lifestyle, my habits, and I'd be thinking about these for days on end. These feelings were constantly taking me out of the moment in those precious times when I was surrounded by people I loved. And again, at the time, I didn't even realize how anxious I was while I was experiencing it, so I didn't really know what to do, and I didn't know that I needed to heal. Now, I do think it is important here for me to pause for a second and recognize that all experiences with anxiety are different. There are plenty of people out there who may have had it worse or do have it worse right now than I do. But that's really why I'm making this video. I feel like I am so lucky to have found a method that has worked for me and my anxiety. And it's not just myself. There are thousands, if not millions of other people who have had help through the Wim Hof Method on their physical and mental diseases. And I want to do my part here by spreading his messages as far as they can go. Okay, I am just over 2 weeks into the Wim Hof Method, and I just had a major breakthrough. I was outside doing a bit of meditation, just dressed like this after workout, and it felt really, really peaceful, and so I decided to try the Wim Hof breathwork for the first time outside. And I did 3 rounds of it, and the second and third rounds specifically made me feel like I had never felt so much peace in my life before. I tried Wim's methods of not putting your attention or focusing your attention anywhere, and I tried to put take everything in my vision and not put anything in my peripherals, not put anything in focus. It's just like I could see everything and then I could hear everything, and it felt like the whole world around me, maybe more specifically, I had never been so still. It's like I stopped all the things happening, and it was nothing. I was nothing. I was just sitting there, and it was, I can't even describe what that felt like. There was a smile that came onto my face, and I could only describe it as the most genuine smile that I've ever had in my entire life. When I first heard Wim talking about gaining full access over your mind, I didn't really understand what he meant, and it never really connected with me until about a month and a half ago, where I was doing cold exposure, and I felt like I had gained full power over my body and over my mind, and I literally felt like I could do anything. For the first bit of when you're doing something uncomfortable, say hopping into a cold shower or going outside to walk barefoot in the snow, you're gonna find a lot of resistance within yourself to that thing. Whenever I can feel ease or calm in these times, I get a joy that is very similar to finishing a race, breaking a personal record, or finishing a public speech. It feels like I can do anything I wanted to do in these moments, and I tap into my own personal power. And it really seems to me like I step through the doorway and into a world that opens me up to what our true human capabilities really are. I just finished a nighttime session of breathwork and did 4 rounds. On the 4th round, I got these visuals like I was on a psychedelic. All the trees came together and they formed a mask around me, and it felt like this healing energy was all around. I just started crying, and I've still got like tears in my eyes, and it feels like I just wish for this amount of love and energy to be felt by every person possible. I didn't know these feelings could exist. I didn't know that they existed until now. I don't have quite all the words to express what I've just been through, but it feels like some sort of deep healing, and I'm so lucky to have felt it. Wim Hof says by doing the breath work, we can get high off our own supply, which I always thought was pretty funny and interesting, but never really understood. But now I'm realizing that breathing alone can make you feel high, and for me, it feels like the opening up of these energy channels that were always blocked within me, and gives me this feeling that I can only describe as euphoric. I think this is the part of the methods that has leaked most into my daily life, because now, whenever I have a moment of stillness, I can open those channels of energy consciously, and be able to change my outlook and my mood in the present moment. In all, I made this video because I feel so immensely lucky to have found Wim and his teachings, and I just want to share that with as many people as I possibly can, because my life has been absolutely altered by Wim, and I just wish the same freedom and joy that I've been feeling doing these methods for any other person out there, hopefully everyone. If you enjoyed watching this video, my best friend Eli and I are on this journey to living better and more fulfilling lives, and we want to do that with you. So make sure you keep tuning in, subscribe to our channel, and we will see you soon. Much love.